Come on, feel it.
Here we go. Loading up.
Ooh, that's nice. That looks like a pirate ship.
What the?
What has happened there?
It says you lost your connection.
You might only be able to send to one thing or the other.
That's why I wasn't gonna do the YouTube, because I don't think I can do everything.
Okay. Well,
It'd be unfortunate.
I said share screen.
mhm.
Let me see if it's. let
You
me
are
see if
screen
it's-
sharing, it says.
Let me see if it's working. Restream.
Things going crazy down here now.
Oh, what is it doing? That's weird.
No, I'm not seeing it on the YouTube channel. Well, we went from thinking we'd have it in both places to having it in neither.
Right.
Unfortunate.
Is your hmm.
Well, there's only the four of us on the Zoom meeting, so it's not.
Right,
no
it's
sense in
not
doing
it's
this.
not a crisis.
There's no sense in doing this just to Zoom, because it's just us
Right,
and Gary Bill.
Okay.
right.
Right?
Yeah,
We need to have at least one person
right.
watching from somewhere
Yeah.
to make this all worth it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, we have to do this for the Public Service Commission.
Yeah, well,
So even if it's just the four of us, we're going to do it.
so let's try to do it at the Zoom, try again to send it to Zoom. Yeah, or to YouTube, I'm sorry.
It's live streaming now.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
How can I wonder if I can get,
Then just share screen.
And it says it's screen sharing.
Okay, then try stop screen share and screen share again. That's always what I try. I don't know that it helps.
Margie says it's working now.
Okay, good, great, excellent. So I'll just look over your shoulder rather than look up on the big
Can you see
screen.
what we're doing?
Gary, can you see the Gateway Community Power screen on Zoom?
Yes, I can, and I can also see the screen sharing.
That's okay.
Okay, you can see the bar at the bottom, you mean? Yeah.
At the moment,
Yep.
yep.
Okay, that's fine. So are we ready then?
I think we're ready.
You can't use that now.
I can't?
Well, you can't see anything.
Oh, right. Yeah, you'll just
I'll
have to,
just have to do it.
sorry. Want to scoot around? Sure. Okay.
Okay, Margie sees it on YouTube.
Okay, Gary, why don't you go ahead? Gary Haddon from Village of Victor. Would you like to introduce?
Sure. So we're really happy tonight, Sue, to have you, Sue Hughes Smith and Ben Freevert here from Rocktricity for a presentation on our community choice aggregation program that we're about to launch on the 1st of January, I believe, 2021. It's been a long haul, close to 3 years, I would say, learning process, and you've been with us the whole time, nursing us along, and we appreciate it. And I'm very excited on behalf of the village for this program to launch. And tonight is a public session. We hope there's people out there listening, viewing on YouTube. and or Zoom. I don't know if anybody else would be on Zoom, but we hope that people are paying attention because it's an exciting time for the village right now, in my opinion. So tonight's program is to answer questions and present our community choice program kickoff, if you will.
Next one's November 16th, right?
And hello, Carol.
Hi, Gary.
And thanks to Pam as well for facilitating so much of this process between Rocktricity and Jewel and ourselves. And Bill Bross, welcome. Good to see you, my man. I'll turn it over to Sue.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Gary. We really appreciate the leadership that the Village of Victor has shown and your patience in working through this long process. So I share your excitement for what is going to be known as Gateway Community Power. If you're joining us on Zoom, there's a couple hints there to use speaker view to see the full screen, and your microphone and camera will be off during the presentation. But if you would like to ask a question, then you just need to use the chat feature. So down at the bottom of your screen, you should be able to find that chat icon. Okay. Okay, so the Village of Victor is launching a Clean Energy Choices program. And you will see the partner organizations at the bottom. Join with the Village of Victor. There's Jewel Community Power, who is the designated administrator approved by New York State, and ourselves, Rocktricity, who's the local program manager located right here in Rochester. Okay, next slide, thank you. So Victor is going to launch a community choice aggregation program. It will be a 100% renewable program, and it will launch on January 1st of 2021. And the program name is called Gateway Community Power. So you can keep up with program developments by going to the website, gatewaycommunitypower.com, or by following Gateway Community Power on Facebook or Instagram. So this evening, I'm going to briefly touch on what community choice aggregation is, the benefits of the program, what the details of your contract will be specifically, how it affects you, and what your bill will look like once the program begins, and kind of the next steps for implementation. So community choice aggregation, or CCA as it tends to be abbreviated, was first authorized by New York State in 2016, okay, so by the Public Service Commission. So they have put together a series of rules for how the program has to operate. And what the program does is allows municipalities, villages, towns, or cities to aggregate the energy demand of residents and small businesses and use that to basically negotiate a bulk purchase. And it's simply a shifting the default selection of who is purchasing electricity from the state telling the utility that they have to do it to your local municipality making that default selection. So all energy customers are eligible to participate in the program, but some are automatically included in the program, and that's what we call an opt-out treatment. So if you are a resident or a small business, you are the likely customers who will be treated as an opt-out participant. So if you're a very large consumer of electricity, you might choose to opt in, but you would want to look at the program details to see if it made sense for you. So the benefits of community choice aggregation are leveraging the bulk buying strategy through aggregation. So that's simply, having many people that we are buying for allows us to have influence in the marketplace. The goal is to achieve some savings for residents and small businesses and to eliminate price volatility through long-term fixed pricing. It enables the local selection of the default supply, and that will help accelerate the transition to renewable energy. So for your program, the winning bidder is Source Power, and the contract will last for 24 months, beginning on January 1st, 2021. So for 2 years, you will have a fixed rate, and then you may renew the program, and new information would be forthcoming at that time. But so for the next 2 years, the contract price will be 4.292 cents per kilowatt hour. It's written there if you're looking at the screen and it's dollar amount, but that's 4.2, just under 4.3 cents per kilowatt hour. And just to get an idea, the current RG&E rate is 4.6 cents per kilowatt hour. So we are anticipating that this will be a savings over the next 24 months, modest savings, but for a 100% renewable product. And if you were to go online to find this same exact renewable product, you would find that as an individual, it would cost you over 6 cents. So this program is a 25% savings over what you as an individual would be able to find on the marketplace. That's the power of aggregation. Okay, so will the CCA affect you? Generally, the customers are enrolled on an opt-out basis. So for residents and small businesses, you should be opted in automatically unless you already have taken the action to have a third-party supplier. So if you've contracted with some company already, this program cannot supplant that one without your permission. If you are billed on a demand basis, you would have to be a very large energy user for that to be the case, but those customers would not be automatically included. If you have a freeze or a block on your account, if you ever told the utility that you didn't want to see any new electricity offers and they blocked your account, then you will not automatically be included unless you remove that block. And then finally, the Home Energy Assistance Program. If you are a HEAP participant, the Public Service Commission does not allow you to participate in this fixed rate program. Everyone else will be automatically included unless you opt out. Okay. So your electric bill, when the program begins, your electric bill will look a little bit different. And that's one way you'll know that the program has launched. So we'll show you an image of the bill in just a second, but I just want to say in words that what happens is on your utility bill, your electricity bill has both a supply and a delivery section. So the supply part is the cost for the electrons, and that's the part that the Community Choice Aggregation Program will impact. The delivery section is what RG&E collects to pay to take care of the wires and so forth, the other infrastructure of the grid. And that will not change. So when the program begins, your supply will move from the kind of the RG&E section to the end of the bill. So here you see an example of an RG&E bill without community choice aggregation. So again, you will note the two circles there, that there's a delivery charge. Again, that's for RG&E to pay for the grid infrastructure. And then below that, you typically see the supply charges. And that's the per kilowatt hour fee that RG&E has passed on to you from their purchase. Without community choice aggregation, or rather with community choice aggregation, you will see on the consolidated account summary, right towards the beginning of your bill, you will see a new name, and that will say Source Power or Source Power Charges. Then further into the bill, you will notice that, sure enough, the supply portion moved away from where it had been. So it's no longer right below electricity delivery. And instead, on the next slide, yep, we'll see that it moves towards the end of the bill under a section entitled Messages. And again, you should see the name Source Power associated with that. So the next steps, within the next couple of weeks, so probably early November, a letter should come to your residence, and that will be from the municipality. So you'll recognize it because it will be a letter signed by Mayor Haddon. This letter will basically tell you the price information I just reviewed, and it will explain how you opt out. If you just really like having RG&E purchase your electricity, or you don't want renewable energy for some reason, you can choose to not participate. And there's no cost. It's free to just get out. And the information for doing that will be included in that letter. There's a postcard that you'll be able to return, or you can visit the website or call our company, Rocktricity, and we'll be happy to help you. Then, starting January 1st, the new price will be implemented, and you will see that on your February bill, the very next month. So Gateway Community Power, again, is the name of the program. And there's a website, a Facebook page, and an Instagram page where you can follow along with the progress. Or you can reach out to us at Rocktricity. That's okay. I'm on the next slide anyway. Yeah, despite the formatting. So here's our telephone number, 244-0244, with, of course, the Rochester 585 area code. Or you can always email us at info@rocktricity.com. There's also an info@gatewaycommunitypower.com. So you have a variety of ways to reach us, and all of this information will be coming to you in the mail early in November. So if we have any questions, now would be a good time to take them. Okay, exciting. So we have no questions coming in yet. There will, in addition to this community choice aggregation program, there will also be a flyer about a community solar opportunity. And that's a program that people would have to choose to participate in if they wish to.
Sue,
Yes, Gary.
would you like to elaborate a little bit on this community solar program in case there are people out there listening like Mr. Bross?
Sure, I'm happy to. So Source Power also has an interest in some megawatts of solar energy, and they will be looking for people to subscribe to their program. The information for how to learn more about their offering will be in that letter that's going to be arriving in early November from Mayor Haddon. There will be both a flyer about the community solar and some contact information if you want to explore that. Typically, community solar is a good opportunity to save money because it affects the entire electric bill, both the supply and the delivery portion. And savings typically over the whole year, an annual savings will be between 5 and 10%.
Good.
Right. And
I've
you can
been in a-
participate in that as well as with the CCA program. It's not a choice. You don't have to choose between them. You could do both. And that
Yeah, I've been
maximizes
in-
your savings.
I've been in a community solar program now for over 1 year. And it's working great.
Great, Bill. I'm so
I'm-
glad to hear
For
that.
the first time in my life, first time ever, I actually went for a month with no bill because RG&E there wasn't enough money to bill me.
Well, that's exciting. Great job, Bill. Way to go.
And my next bill was $25.
Wow.
I know that will change in the winter because we have, unfortunately, we have gas heat. I say that only because it would be, I'd rather have a heat pump, but that's just where things stand, where we live.
Well,
Gas
and
is
Bill,
a very
Bill, I'm
important-
really glad you pointed out that the savings from a community solar program does vary from month to month because it's based on the productivity of the solar field. So obviously in the winter, it's not producing as much. And then in the summer, of course, it's producing much more. So it's an annual savings, typically of 5 to 10%, but it varies from month to month to month. And Bill, for people like you who are already in a community solar program, you can't join a second one. Just saying, just in case people are out there. And if you have rooftop solar, you also won't participate in a community solar. All great if you've already got it. This will just be a new opportunity for folks who don't already have access to solar.
Sue,
So thanks for bringing that up.
can I ask you a question?
Please, Gary.
So whether it's a CCA program or whether it's a community solar program, is it true that there's another benefit to the community as a whole in the sense that there's money that comes back to the community from participating through Gateway Community Power? It comes back to the community to use for other sustainability projects.
That is absolutely correct. Thank you, Gary, for reminding me to touch on that. So there's two things. The NYSERDA program, right? So the New York State Energy Research and Development. Thank you, Ben. They have grant money and they're coming out with a new round of grant funding, which we are told will prioritize 100% renewable CCA programs, such that you're implementing, and community solar programs. So the Village of Victor should be well positioned to pursue additional grant funding. Then, with the community solar participation, for each customer, the Village of Victor will earn $50 towards their own sustainability fund. And that $50 is coming from Jewel and the solar developer as a thank you for your community's participation and leadership in the community solar program.
Thank you, Sue.
Yeah,
That's
thank you
great.
for mentioning it, Gary.
Great.
Mhm.
And I do have another kind of question to ask that I know you can clarify. And if I'm the customer, if I'm the resident who's listening tonight and doesn't know that much about this program or either of the two programs, you could be easily confused by 100% renewable.
Mm.
So there's a difference between just solar power and 100% renewable.
Mhm.
Obviously, solar is 100% renewable, but there are other forms of it. Could you touch on that?
Yes, that's another great point, Gary. So the default electric supply, what will be coming to or purchased really for you, regardless of time of day, is coming from New York State hydropower facilities. And there's actually dozens and dozens of these all across New York State. It's a really great way to maintain our New York State generation, renewable generation. So that's what the source is for the default electric supply. And then obviously the community solar is a local solar field somewhere in our Genie territory.
Great, thank you.
Yep.
So it boils down to, I think, our CCA program, renewable energy, will be hydro. And our community solar program will be strictly solar.
Correct. That's absolutely right.
Yeah.
And so, participating in one or both is really helping New York State transition to more and more renewable energy, helping us to be more sustainable and do our parts to combat climate change. So we really appreciate your leadership on this. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you. Do you foresee, or would there ever be solar included in a CCA program for renewable energy?
Well, it's very possible. New York State has very aggressive goals for renewable energy to get to 70% of our electricity being generated renewably by 2030. That's really aggressive. So it's very possible that in the future, solar could be that default supply.
But for the time being, it'll be hydropower.
For the time being, it'll be hydropower, correct? Correct. There's just simply not enough solar currently available to meet that community-wide demand.
Understood. And one last thing. One of the other benefits I see of the community solar program
Mhm.
is that it will help to generate new solar farms because the demand will increase. And as that demand increases, then it becomes more available through both CCA and community solar. And we reach our goals even sooner, perhaps.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is a way, as you're noting, to use the marketplace, right? To use our power of purchasing to facilitate or encourage more renewable development. Yep. And grow our local economies, which is exciting.
Absolutely. All good news.
Mhm. Sure, that's a good point. So Pam is reminding me to mention that in that opt-out letter that will come to you, the mayor's letter, it will have some information about our next community meeting. It will be the same presentation, reviewing the pricing, and that will be on November 16th. So another Monday, also at 6 p.m. And we look forward to seeing many of you there.
Very good. Preceding, just like tonight, preceding our board meeting immediately after.
Thanks so much for having us, Gary.
Thank you both for being
Thanks,
here,
Sue.
for being part of bringing this to us as a community. It's been quite the learning experience, and it's going to continue to be a learning experience, but we're on the right side of things now.
Definitely, definitely. And thanks,
And
Bill, for all your
thank you,
help.
Gary and
Yep.
Pam.
You're welcome, Bill.
Okay. Have a good night,
Keep up the
everybody.
good work, man.
Bye-bye.
See you.
Pam?